Hello, happy Friday. So excited to be with you all here today. This is Corey Googe tuning in to share some truth with you all. So if you are there, jump on, say hello. Let me know where you are on this Friday in April. It's actually snowing here in Denver and gray and cloudy. So you never know. Can probably be 70 in a couple days, but today it's 30. So anyway, I am just going to share this video over with my Facebook group. So give me 1 second and then we will start. So this is less of a training today and more of a conversation. So where this came from is I woke up this morning a couple ways. So I just had this thought, like, why is it that you don't want what it is you say you want? And the other thing that was in my mind was I was actually singing a song in my head, a song from LCD Soundsystem, which is called Oh Baby. And part of the song, he says, I'm just trying to wake up. So it's funny that I was singing that as I was trying to wake up. But I mean it more in the figurative, spiritual sense versus the literal sense. And that we are being called to a new awakening, to wake up out of our slumber, out of our deep, sort of unconscious way of living, and to wake up into really living into our truth and into our spiritual gifts and our soul's genius. So that's where this is coming from. So if you are there, jump on. If you are watching this on the replay, let me know you're there. Say hello. And so what I want to get into today is just to go through some examples of what's happening when we say we want something, but we're not actually getting it. Usually there's some fear underneath. So one way to start is just to ask yourself, why don't I want what it is I say I want? So for example, if you have been struggling for years to lose weight, ask yourself, why don't I want to lose weight? Because we all are, if we are not getting what we want, there's something you are getting from not getting what you want. So there's some sort of benefit to staying overweight. And so you can explore that a little bit and see, what is it? What is being overweight making available for you? So perhaps that could be, it makes me feel safe because I don't get unwanted attention from men or from women, depending on what your preference is. That could be part of it. It could be, it was a way that you built up to kind of keep people at a distance. Again, all usually stemming from our deepest desire, which is for safety and security. And so we find ways to figure that out for ourselves if we're not feeling safe and secure in ourselves. So we can build up some barriers between ourselves and others through various ways. Through being overweight is one. And ultimately the core of our deepest longing as humans is belonging. And so when we feel not safe and we feel we might get kicked out of the tribe or kicked off the island, that is our biggest fear, that we will be rejected, we will be criticized, we will be ostracized. And so we do whatever it takes sometimes to make sure we fit in with the tribe and feel safe within that tribe. And so sometimes, going back to the weight example, if you grew up in an overweight family, it might not feel safe for you to lose the weight because you might feel like then they might kick you out of the tribe. Like, who are you to think, oh, look at you just being so thin? It kind of feels like maybe you are disobeying, but maybe, disobeying the family. You're going outside of what has been considered acceptable in the family. And that's where all of this starts, is it starts as children. Of course, we need to be safe and secure and protected. That might not always happen in our family of origin or whoever brought us and whoever our caretakers are, but that doesn't mean we don't lose that desire, right? And what happens is we create ways to protect ourselves as we're growing up. And so again, it could be In my family system, I have noticed this is what I need to do in order to be acknowledged, approved, accepted, or loved. And so you start to create a pattern and a role for yourself within your family system in order to fit in the family system, in order to belong. And that role might still be playing in your head, and so you might still be operating out of that same old belief system that you need to act this way in order to fit in with the family. So another example could be business or career success. So again, stemming from this need for belonging, there could be some underlying fear of outshining your family. So if you come from a family of modest means, it might feel uncomfortable for you to make more money than anyone in your family has ever made. Because again, you risk being kicked off the island because then you no longer are part of the tribe. I used to do a lot of training around the framework of poverty. I used to work with a lot of under-resourced students in the public school system. And this training, it was based on a researcher, Ruby Payne, who did research in this area for many years, was the idea that when there's generational poverty, the most important thing, not just in generational poverty, I would say overall in humanity, is a sense of belonging. And so it's difficult to step into middle class or into wealth from poverty because you do have the sense of being a traitor, that you're leaving the tribe. And then your tribe might forsake you because you left them and decided that you were going to be a part of a different socioeconomic class. So it's kind of twisted because you would think they would be excited for you, and maybe that would also give them hope that they can get out of poverty. But sometimes, again, that need for safety and security overrides the desire to get out of suffering and struggle. So something to consider too is, where is the desire stronger? Is your desire for change stronger than your desire for safety? And is your desire for change stronger than your fear? Because whatever desire is stronger is going to win. No matter what you say, no matter how much you might think you want it, if your fear is stronger or your desire for belonging feels threatened by having it what it is you want, you will not get what you want. You will stay in that cycle of, I want to lose weight. I want to be more successful in my career and my business. I want to have a healthy relationship, partnership. But again, until you uncover the fears behind it and discover, are you willing to face those fears? Are you willing to risk being rejected, outcast, ostracized, criticized in order to go after what you want and leave the safety of the island, leave the safety of the tribe? Because ultimately, what this comes down to is getting to the place where you deeply and completely trust yourself above all, first and foremost. And when you can get to that place of knowing you will never abandon yourself, you will never forsake yourself, you will always honor and devote yourself to yourself and your life's mission and purpose and calling, no matter what happens, no matter how many people may disapprove, how many people may detach themselves from you, what will happen is you will come back to, I am safe, and security comes from within, first and foremost. I can't get it from someone else. I can't get it from a job. I can't get it from my bank account. I can't get it from my body. It has to come from within. And when you can get to that place of knowing you will never desert yourself, then you can start to have the strength and the courage to face those fears of leaving the tribe, leaving the island, and knowing you can go after what it is that you most desire. So, any questions or I would also love any examples of something you've been struggling with that you've been saying you want, but you don't have, so that we can work through why perhaps you don't want it. Perhaps you are getting something out of not having it. And perhaps there is some underlying fear of being kicked off the island, or feeling like you might not be met with approval. You might be met with rejection if you go after what you want. And again, none of this is at times rational. A lot of it is below the surface, and so that's why it's important to bring it up and to recognize, oh, I'm still I'm still believing that I need to act in a certain way in order to fit within my family system. And once you have that awareness, you can start to recognize, you can change that pattern and change your role, especially when you get to the place where you can trust yourself and you know that security comes from within and it's not dependent on your family or your spouse or your partner or your job or anything outside of you, ultimately. And when you have that, that's when you have the courage to go and face your fears and go after what it is you deeply, deeply desire. So that is our training for today, our discussion for today. Would love to hear your thoughts and would love to work through some of your stuckness. So if there's something that you've been working on for a while and it's not shifting and you haven't seen success, if you're still trying to lose those last 20 pounds, if you're still trying to move forward in your business or career, if you're still struggling with trying to have a better relationship with your partner or even just have a relationship in general, I would love to work through what's holding you back. So I did put a link above to a visualization that I did that helps you connect to your authentic self, and that is the self that drops all the crap, drops all the limiting beliefs, drops all the fears, drops all the beliefs that you took on as a child from your family and comes back to you. What do you believe as you when you drop everything else? So I put a link to that in the comments above so you can grab a copy of that. And if this is speaking to you, I encourage you to reach out to me and let's get on a call and talk about how we can work together. Because I would love to help you work through whatever's holding you back and really start to step into your power and move toward what it is you most deeply desire and to live this life with that passion and with that purpose, because that's what you're here for, ultimately. Okay, that's all I have. Leave your comments below and I'll come back and check on them later. Have an amazing Friday.